Life has gotten so much better since I've released a lot of that.
We know that.
Yeah.
And yet you bring to us the most significant thing that's going on the planet today. And we want to say to you, what if there is no solution to that? What if there is no end to things that you don't want? Where does that leave you? What if there is no end to the things that you do not want? Because that's the way it is. There is no end to the things that you do not want. Because the things that you do not want have to exist in the same atmosphere where the things that you do want are. So what if there is always going to be that end of the stick that you don't want? What if every subject that you pick up the stick of has wanted on one end and the absence of it on the other? What if there will always be plenty of what you do not want? What are you going to do? Focus on what you do want and let that be the basis of your life experience. That is the answer. And you don't have to wait for everybody else or anybody else to figure that out. That's a really important part in this. Because if you need them to figure it out before you can have peace, then you've put yourself in a place where you will never have freedom. You've got yourself locked into the end of the stick where you can't win. I'll be happy when everyone else is happy. And I'll feel safe when there are no more terrorists on the planet. I'll feel good, you think you say, when everybody agrees with me and everyone wants to live just like I do. And we say, look within your own nation, look within your own Congress, look within your own government. How aligned are they with one another? In other words, there's more war going on there than anywhere else on the planet. Right there, right there, right there, right there. No one looking for solution. Everyone looking at problem. Everyone pushing against problem. Everyone getting more problem. And nobody feeling good, you see. Good thing they don't matter to the well-being of your nation. So stop terrorizing yourselves by disallowing the expansion that you've already achieved. And stop asking somebody else, anybody else, to do anything different so that you can feel better. Because none of them were born to please you. Not one of them. Can you step back a little bit and see the perspective, the big picture? Can you feel the ongoingness of that which is you? Can you get a little whiff of the eternalness that is you? Just a little bit. Can you feel the view of source looking upon you, not at you, not over you, looking with you? Can you feel the basis of love that we have all come from? And can you feel the steadiness of that never-ending stream? Can you feel the masses of those who are moving about in wellness, in consciousness, in communities, living in houses, eating food, in civilization, in what you don't even want to call civilization. But let's just feel the numbers, the sheer numbers in the billions of just the human species who is mostly living well-being. And now acknowledge that there are pieces of your day that don't go so well, but not mostly, and that there are some aspects of your community that are off kilter a little bit, but not mostly, and that there are pieces of the world that are not thriving, but not mostly, and just put it in perspective. And now step back even further and acknowledge the longevity that is you, the coming into a life experience and the coming to new awarenesses and new desires, and then another generation and another and another and another. And acknowledge the improvement in the thoughts that are turned to things that you can witness. Notice the improvement in this time-space reality and in the way the majority of you live. And just accept that well-being is not just a little more than the not well-being. It is so dominant, it is so pervasive, that it is borderline ridiculous for any of you to find some very small, minuscule aspect of something in comparison or in relationship and turn your attention to it. And notice that even though masses of you do that in an impersonal way through your media and through your televisions, that still you do not really disrupt things, because there are too many of you who are too connected with source energy, and source energy is too dominant. The well-being is dominant. And so feel how unsettling and unnecessary and how really ridiculous it is to scrutinize your planet and find things to focus on, even in your own house or even in your own family or even in your own world, that you are using as your temporary right now excuse to cut yourself off from the receptive mode, which is the only thing that you ever want anyway. Every single thing that you want, whether it's a material object or a state of being or a pile of money or an experience or a circumstance or an event or a relationship, every single thing you want is because you believe that you would feel better in having it. And what we want to say to you is you would feel better in having a relationship with your own inner being. You would feel better being in the receptive mode. Don't ask the conditions of the world to need to change in order for you to feel better. You've got to get out of that conditional mode because you can't control the conditions. And what's really, really interesting about it is that most of the conditions are good anyway. It's trying to control the little piddly conditions that you can't control that's keeping you out of the receptive mode and then making you feel unsettled or making you feel paranoid or making you feel terrorized, you see. For no reason whatsoever other than a lack of discipline in the way you focus, or maybe a lack of understanding that it's a vibrational world. But you're past that. You have no lack of understanding that this is a vibrational world. You know that, we know that, we know that you know that, and you know that we know that you know that. In other words, you know that this is a vibrational world, and you know that you have guidance within you, and you know when you're focused in a productive way, and you know when you're focused in an unproductive way. You know your guidance system is alive and well within you, you see. And so if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would never again give anyone else the permission or the leeway or the latitude to be the reason that we don't feel good about anything. We would just keep acknowledging that I create my own reality and I'm the attractor of my own reality and I attract my reality by what I think about, and I could do a better job of thinking things that would serve me well. And then just set out to reach for thoughts that feel better and better and better and better and better. And when someone comes to you and says, ooh, what do you think about that happened there? If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would say, I want to be a world citizen, and I want to get everything in perspective. And so I'm in the process of taking it all in. In other words, don't counter them, don't push against them, don't try to convince them that you're not thinking about that, don't try to make them wrong for thinking about that. We're not trying to make you wrong for thinking about that. We're just wanting you to understand that every single time you focus in opposition to what's in your vortex, you will terrorize yourself a little bit.
So in that light, when we go to a retirement home where there are 30 people with Alzheimer's or some sort of mental thing, where you look at them and they're non-reactive in the world. They're in a vegetative state.
But you're not while you're looking at them.
You're not
while you're looking at them. You're not non-reacting. You're reacting.
Right. So are they just enlightened masters at that point that are just participating, or are they just bodies?
The only thing that we ask of you is that before you go there, you get into alignment. That you get into alignment before you go. And we're not saying that when you get into alignment, you won't go. You may very well feel a very strong impulse to go from your state of alignment. That may be something that you really feel like doing. But when you go there from your state of being in the receptive mode, from being tuned in with who you are, you'll have a far different experience than when you go because they need you to go, or you go because you think that they are diminished in their experience or whatever. So what is your question?
Do our spirits, do our inner beings hang out in bodies that live a long time?
Yes, but you see, we want you to really hear this because you're talking about an extreme,
right,
where they are really far from...
It's a different physical experience than I am.
In order for them to be in the receptive mode, they have withdrawn almost completely from physical experience. And they have discovered the receptive mode in a way that is unsettling to you.
It may not be in an unsettling way to me, but it might be an unsettling way to some of the other people in the room. Or I get it. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Well, it took all of this conversation in order to get there, didn't it? So you get to decide. And this is something that you are deciding from this broader non-physical experience all the time. Because your ultimate goal as consciousness, and we're talking about the consciousness even before you came into this physical body, your ultimate intention is joyous beingness. Joyous beingness. So if you are focused in a physical body in ways that you are not joyous, not joyous, not joyous, then that desire for joy may very well call you into reemerging into non-physical. Because being in that state of aligned, joyous experiencing of life is the dominant thing that you've got going on. That's what matters most from that non-physical perspective. So what you see in those of you who are running around here together are varying degrees of the allowing of that. Now, from our point of view, the optimum experience, and by optimum we mean best, we mean most joyful, we mean intended from your non-physical perspective, the optimum experience that any of us could live is to be physically focused out here on this leading edge where new stuff is happening and new desires are being created while in alignment with that broader perspective. That's just as good as it gets.
In like the video game that we're all playing here in these bodies, that's how we get to the next level.
No, it's not a video game, and there is no next level.
Okay.
It's not like that. That's human thinking that we are wanting to sort of guide you away from. There are no levels. There's just eternal becoming. Okay. And it's just natural. And you don't have to try and offer effort in order for that to happen. It's just the most natural thing that you would be here, that life would inspire you. And so when life inspires you and you line up with that inspiration, then it's all good, isn't it? So we're talking on one complete end of the spectrum, and terrorism is on the other complete end of the spectrum. And we're wanting you to find your place somewhere in that, you see. So can you feel this vibrational becoming that is so real? And can you get a vibrational glimpse of it? Can you feel the joy of it? Can you feel the expansion of it? Can you feel the enthusiasm of it? Can you feel the satisfaction of it? The having done what I came for quality of it? Can you feel the pride that your inner being feels for self and for yourself and for whole self about all of that? Can you feel the perfection of what we're all creating together? And can you accept that even the terrorists in Paris are part of that appreciation, part of that value, part of that becoming, part of what was known, part of the goodness of this eternalness that we are all about? Can you go that far? And can you feel how in any moment in time that you can look so broad that you can make it not fun, or you can look so specific that you can make it not fun? Can you feel that you get to choose how big the subject is, how broad the subject is, how small the subject is, how narrow the subject is, that you get to choose where you focus in all of that, and that it doesn't matter where you choose? Can you feel that you can't get it wrong no matter where you focus? Can you feel that you could be focused upon a mathematical equation, or you could be tutoring your child in spelling? Can you feel that you could be dancing, or you could be walking, or you could be eating, or you could be sleeping? Can you feel that there are endless options that you could be focused about, and that within each and every option, no matter what the subject is, that you have the choice of approaching that subject from the receiving mode or from the not receiving mode? You have the option of being aware of this receiving mode, and striving is not the perfect word, but focusing in the direction of it. You have constant choice. You are so free you can choose terrorism. You are so free you can choose to be terrified. You're so free you can choose to be joyful. You're so free that you can love, or you're so free that you can hate. The options are unlimited to you. We're just saying that when you care about the way you feel, so you choose more of those options that feel good to you while you are choosing them on small subjects and large subjects, that you will master your own vibrational being. You will master it. And as you do, your entire world will take on a different look to you. You'll put it in perspective. Nothing will terrorize you. You will feel only appreciation for the variety that surrounds you and the choices that others are making. And it is our promise to you that as you get hold of your ability to define and achieve the choices that you have discovered in your life experience, that the choices that others are making will become the irrelevant choices that others are making, that they have always been intended by you to be. You never planned to control them all. And as soon as you give that up and spend a little bit of time controlling what you can control, which is the way you feel, you are going to live happily ever after.